Hi, everybody. I'm here, professional, full-time mediator, director of mediation for the Mediation Center of Central Florida, as well as a primary mediation trainer. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I've talked about in the past that is important in small ways, as well as in really important, very basic ways. What do I mean by that? So, I had a mediation recently. It didn't last long. I think it was 17 minutes. Not a long, mediation. Um, Mediation. Uh, Mediators love agreements. We love helping. We love helping the parties figure out their issues. But it's not our mediation; it's their mediation. And the more, how do we become better mediators? Experience, right? And so the more you see instances where the parties are really far apart, one, and two, you're listening to the parties after your opening statement and their opening statements, and the way they're talking, the way they're saying things, that you're reading the temperature in the room, you're understanding, yeah, they're really far apart, and not only are they saying that they don't think that this is the place for agreement, but your instinct is telling you that as well, based on everything you're seeing, based on what you've seen before, based on your knowledge of these kinds of cases. And so, um, one, a mediator has to become comfortable with a few things. Every mediation cannot be in agreement. That's not the point of mediation all the time, right? Um, and we also have to be comfortable with parties coming to bad agreements. That wasn't the case now, but we also have to become comfortable with sometimes, letting mediation take place quickly, when you really do get the sense that everyone is on the same sheet of music. Don't get me wrong, I like to push a little bit. I like to see, well, is there something that we can talk about? Is there some miscommunication that needs, to be dispelled? Is there anything from a time perspective? Is there any kind of discovery? Is there anything that I can help the parties with that can help the case move forward one way or another? And if the answer is no, then by the same token, I don't want to waste the party's time. They're paying for this one way or another, not just for mediation, but the professionals who they have in the room, um, and belaboring something past the point that it needs to be, belabored is, I think, a mistake as well. And so when you get the sense, especially early on, and the parties are saying that, and you think that's the case, it's okay. You can impasse it. I wrote a couple of things down though, and that I just said. Just make sure: is there anything that you can help with? Right? Are there any outstanding issues that, because when they come to mediation, a lot of times things that have been going on, some one party or multiple parties aren't aware of. Can you help them in that regard? Um, give the represented parties a chance to talk to their professional alone, just to make sure, just in case. And then I like to keep parties typically, when let the other party know, yes, it is an impasse. Every once in a blue moon, that it kind of serves like a reality, checking test. It can change things. In this case, I did not see that that was the case, and I was right. Um, and so at the end of the day, what's the point, of mediation? And this really speaks mediator to mediator, right? Um, to comply with court orders and/or any controlling statutes, because mediation is supposed to take place, right? What does that do? It allows the case to then move forward, right? And at the end of the day, what is it that's best for the parties? And always end off on a positive note. Even though there's no agreement, is there a positive note? I think there is. And I talk directly, to the parties, when I say this, and that is, this case moves on. What's the point of mediation? It's to help the parties get to that solution one way or another, whether it's mediation, whether it's trial. Um, so um, we have to become okay with knowing when to stop pushing as well. And so it almost seems counterproductive, but we just got here. How can we already be at an impasse? Every once in a while, that is the case. Now, I don't go there fast, but I am going to follow my instincts, as I would tell you all, you should as well, right? And the more we mediate, the better we are at being able to gauge that and really get a feel for keeping them here is really counterproductive at this point. And there's some other points I would love to hear your comments as well. But I thought, this happens sometimes, and it's important to talk to mediators about it because it's not easy to deal with at the moment. We feel as if we're doing something wrong by letting a case impasse fast. Sometimes that's exactly what needs to happen, but it's case by case, my friends, right? Every case is unique and individual in and of itself. So I hope you get something out of that. Please like and share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and um, how do we become better mediators? Experience. Go out and mediate, make a difference in your community, one mediation at a time, and hopefully, in turn, the world. Get a mentor, right? But mediate and continue being the superhero that you are. What we do makes a difference. You're awesome. And so I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Stay well. Keep on making it.